Welcome to Catching Up with Eli, CEO, co-founder of Footprint. I'm Shardul Shah, one of the partners at Index Ventures. We're here in New York. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yes. Did you have any pizza today?
I have not had any pizza.
Any recommendations for me?
I'm the worst person to ask. I have a gluten intolerance, which
as if I didn't know.
It's one of the sexier things about me. There aren't many, but I guess it's a nice plug. If anyone wants to make a nice gluten-free pizza, we'll make it the official pizza vendor of the future of identity.
Fundraising. It's for some entrepreneurs, it's quiet. It's difficult. It's certainly a challenging moment, and in many dimensions for lots of folks in the world. So, do you want to share the news?
Thank you. Yeah, we're thrilled to announce a $6 million seed round led by you and Index, and to come out of stealth with the announcement, and we couldn't be more excited. I think it's both exciting, and you get to meet a lot of brilliant people. It's hectic. It's this interesting dance of all parties. And when I think about our fundraising, it started by meeting you. I remember our walk so clearly, and I felt like we viewed the world such a similar way, and also there was just this genuine compassion, and kind of you were somebody who had not just built this story before, but really was betting both on a vision and also a roadmap. And it was very humbling in that this was also a time before I'd met Alex. This was a time before a line of code was written. And it was belief beyond anything that truly anybody else after we'd met could possibly have shown forward.
We're delighted to kind of organize the round in like with three sleeves, right, to accommodate seed funds as well as angels that could support you in different ways than ourselves. And I'm feeling really confident that we have the right tribe behind you to allow you to realize your ambitions. So how did you come to KYC as a landing point?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the way we think about Footprint is we consider ourselves a security company. By proxy, we do KYC. I think Alex and I see KYC, and you saw this as well when we first met, is we think one of the reasons it's broken is, to me, good KYC should touch multiple points. It should be continuous, and it should really deal with security, friction, and accuracy. Today, a lot of companies really just focus on accuracy, and it's one part of accuracy, flagging bad actors from getting in. And that doesn't surprise me, because each time somebody goes through KYC, you fill out the same form, and it's essentially a test. Are you good or are you bad? And the assumption is bad. You do it all the time then. And for companies, you lose out a couple of steps of the way. One is that somebody's just typing in information. There's no actual real liveness to see if the person who's entering the information is the person who owns that identity. And that's problematic, because if you actually want to label a good actor, you probably want to actually go to them where they are and work to verify them. The second problem that we see companies face is there are no feedback loops. Companies don't speak. And I understand that. Why would Uber want to tell Lyft who a bad actor is? Then the third and the biggest problem that Alex and I saw was that at the end of KYC, companies had to figure out a way to store this information, which is, it's expensive, it's risky, it involves a lot of different tools. And what Alex and I said is, we kind of took a bet that KYC did just have billions of dollars invested, and we thought it was becoming fairly commoditized. So we said, every KYC company is talking about AI and accuracy and how we're doing these things. And we said, what if we just say, there's been so much invested now to do the KYC to get it to pretty much the same accuracy level. And we think we've improved on that because we're the only company that uses Face ID. We said, what if we just solve the other huge issue here? We said, what if we build a security company that securely stores, encrypts, vaults, does access control and access management around the data, and as a result of storing it, we verify the identity in real time. So our approach was that if we can build a security company that's storing this information, we actually make it much more frictionless to create accounts, and we actually solve the other kind of sleeping giant problem that companies have had to deal with along the way of onboarding users.
Yeah, in our view, most organizations and teams look at friction and accuracy as trade-offs, right? You want more accuracy, you have more friction. And you were the first to really think about how to have both low friction and high accuracy for customers. And I think onboarding, to your point, is a great place where you can prove that, and having storage and onboarding in one allows you to attack this in a really unique way. What motivated you to get started?
I think my whole life I've been maybe a naive optimist, but I've had this core belief that technology should make the world a better place. And I think core to that is data. I, like many, was really upset after the 2016 election for a lot of the reasons many were, that data was being taken advantage of and people didn't know what was being done with their data online. But I had a bit of a different reaction. A lot of people said, well, we should silo and restrict access to data, and we should make it tougher to create new data. To me, data is one of the most powerful tools we have. Google is probably one of the best predictors in the world of who will get Parkinson's. To know from your reCAPTCHA test, if your finger tremors and your typo rate over time. There's no HIPAA compliance on Gmail, so they can label a data set. And I had a family member get the disease, and I just remember both feeling very powerless and also very upset. What if people were in control of their data? So really my mission became that. How do we put people in control of their data? And along the way, I kind of came to realize that the best way to do that was to put people in control of their identity, which is probably the most core part of their data to a digital ecosystem. And I guess like any good entrepreneur, I realized that maybe the way to do that was through an enterprise, a SaaS, and an API company. We all start with noble ambitions and we end up on KPIs. But for me, it really was a personal mission of I want to bring back trust to the internet.
Yeah. How did you meet Alex?
It's a great index story. So I was meeting a bunch of really smart people, and around the time that I was thinking about Footprint, I've been working this business plan for probably 2 or so years, and Stripe announced an identity product. And interestingly, Stripe, incredible company, their identity product in a way wasn't really Stripe for identity. And my co-founder Alex, who's the nicest and also one of the most brilliant people I've just ever come across, he sent Pat Collinson a cold email outlining really a technical approach for how he would build Stripe's identity program, which was really similar to my business plan. It was this federated approach. I think in a way I'm even more proud of Alex for sending a cold email, which is my favorite pastime, than even having this really brilliant technical idea. And Pat didn't reply, so Alex reached out to a friend of his who was at Stripe, and that friend was a mutual friend of Xavi at Index. And Xavi put me in touch with him, and we were speaking, and he's like, I think you and Alex have to meet. And I remember being 5 minutes into my first Zoom with Alex after meeting dozens of people and being like, where do you live? And he's like, Boston. I'm like, great, I will ferry or train or parachute in tomorrow. It was very clear that he was just the perfect person to build this company with.
What's next?
What's next is customers using Footprint. What's next is hopefully people filling out the last identity form of their life. The first time you use Footprint, it's going to look kind of similar to a form you fill out today. For companies, it's really easy. It's 5 lines of code. And not only do you get to onboard a user, but you get to offload all of the security and compliance burden associated. What's really cool though as a user is after you use Footprint once, next time you go to create an account, it's as easy as typing in your email and doing a Face ID on a phone. It really is that simple. So for us, we're really excited. Our early access will be starting shortly in just a month. We'll be commercially launching in fall. And we just couldn't be more excited to really solve a problem that we've seen so many people speak about, which is this idea of this toggle of accuracy and friction. And what if that could go away? We think that by solving security, we bring in enough users to solve friction. We think that by solving friction and actually having that Face ID and that attestation repeatedly, that's how you solve accuracy. So we couldn't be more excited to share this product with the world, and we're really excited to hopefully delight customers and delight people.
Great. Well, it was a lot of fun catching up with you, Eli. Can't wait to host you again.
Thanks for having us. This was great.